the game to be over. I have so many questions. No, you don't. You turn that way and run. Let's go. Do you have a humiliation kit? This is all I ask you to do. I'm having a great finger flick. You're allowed to show up. This team is ruining my life. I'm taking crazy pills. With you, wherever you are, welcome to LFR. Victory, Puppy Ziggy! One for every Leaf goal or one for every review. Take your pick. You gotta get faster at this. It's okay. This game took a while to get started too. See? And it didn't look like that one went in, but it did. No, I'm not even... Iggy, you gotta get the extra point. BT, breakaway! He didn't even see that till the last minute. That was a good catch. No time to waste. Leafs win 4-3 in overtime over the Washington Capitals. Thank you. We're going this way now. We go this way and we don't look back. You can ask questions tomorrow. Right now, you take those 2 points, get the heck out of Washington, don't even pack a bag. Don't worry about what you're leaving behind. They have clothes back home. Go get them. Gotta pee? No, you don't. Hold it. Listen, I hated that game against the Sens. And this game in one fell swoop. You know what? Don't even worry about it. You win some, you lose some. 2 out of 4 ain't bad. See if that's a terrible attitude. Maybe. Whatever. 2 points tonight. Goodbye. You know, sometimes your goalie steals you one. Like you get outshot into oblivion, but your goalie just makes a billion saves. Even those games make more sense than this one. Our goalie was better than yours. It was that easy. And the goals that went in, well, it came down to execution, and once again, our goalie was better than yours. This was a tired team getting outplayed for 40 minutes. In a game where they were down 3-1. In a game that had 4 reviews. You got one, that got taken back. You got another, that one was okay. You tie it, that one got taken back. You get another, that one was okay. You go to overtime, Tavares breakaway, he puts it in, and don't even grab your water bottle off the bench. They sell them at Canadian Tire, Sport Check, wherever you end up. Most arenas have a fountain, right? You can go to the fountain, you're not too good for the fountain. Any Capitals fans watching this, yep. You're right. Don't care. 2 points. Heist. You leave. The Leafs have gotten demolished by the Columbus Blue Jackets, by the Ottawa Senators. They have managed to lose both games they played against the St. Louis Blues. At one point, Jordan Binnington had 3 wins and 2 of them were against the Leafs. The Leafs are also the only team to beat the Winnipeg Jets this season and Logan Thompson in 8 games. If I'm not mistaken, the Winnipeg Jets and the Washington Capitals, when Logan Thompson is in net, are a combined 22-2. The Leafs are the 2. One of the chirps I get in the comments is, oh, Steve, you're going gray. How is my whole head not gray? How am I not bald? Look at it, Spencer Carberry. Like, that is my more handsome future. This team makes no sense. Let's talk about it. First and foremost, I hope you watched yesterday's LFR video for the Sens game, even though that game sucked. It was a live LFR. Shoeless Joe's on Queen's Key. I like doing those. They're fun, and to me, they're an occasional treat. Live LFRs, I'm sure, are not for everyone, and that's fine. It's not every video. Most videos are like this, but they are fun. We do have fun. It'd be cool to do one with, like, a goal. We're now 0 for 2 at live events, and the Leafs haven't scored! And they were not the first team to score in this one. Listen, the Leafs are playing out of their depth. A lot of these guys are playing out of their depth without Austin Matthews, and honestly, haven't done that too many times. Max Domi is one of them. Pretty sure he's playing hurt on account of he missed practice the other day. We never really found out why, and he's not playing well. And he's still playing center, which is probably not even the position he should be playing up front. Oh, and he's playing center higher up in the lineup. It's a nightmare. Capitals get a 3-on-2. Here's what it looks like. Max Domi trailing, but here he comes. And he just sort of stops. I don't know if he knew, like, the opportunity that he had in front of him, like, to tie up his guy. I don't know if he was tired or late in his shift. I don't know what that was. Would it have made a difference in the end because the Capitals just sort of throw it in front, it goes off a guy and in? Maybe not. But does it look great? No. 1-0 Caps. But the response was glorious. Like, the big takeaway from the game is either going to be the comeback or the reviews, or both. Lost in it, John Tavares was magical. Dude, forget the OT winner. The Bobby McMann goal is disgusting. It was so many goals ago. Do you remember it? Like, you watched the game. Can you picture it? Okay, so Bobby McMann's got a great shot, right? And he used the shot. And it went in. Goal scorers, you know? He hasn't gotten a goal this month. He hasn't gotten a point this month. But John Tavares is like, I'm going to do everything I can. Here's what everything I can looks like. Oh! Washington Capitals are a great team this season so far, if you haven't been paying attention, and their D-core is revamped. And John Tavares did this to those young men. He's got them in hell. They have no idea where the puck is or that Bobby McMann is a person who exists. Well, he is, and he can score, and he did 1-1. For this next goal, I want to try something. Look at the Washington Capitals making it 2-1. There's something on NHL.com that I love, and Jesse Blake loves, and Adam Wilde loves, and we bring it up on the podcast all the time now. And in fact, we have a new little mini-series on the SDPN YouTube channel called The Blake Down with Jesse Blake. The tool on NHL.com is called the NHL Edge Goal Visualizer. What it does is it basically takes a tiny dot with a number, so Ovechkin would be a red dot with the number 8, for example. Every player gets a number, and it shows how the goal happened without showing the footage, which you can't do. But apparently you can show the little dots. For the Leafs, pay close attention to 95 and 91, John Tavares and Oliver Ekman-Larsson. They get completely crossed up here. I think they both think each other has each other's guy, and they don't. The Washington Capitals make quick work of the split-second mistake. What it looks like happens here is OEL gets beat by his man. He thinks John Tavares and him are going to swap, and they don't. On one hand, seeing how fast it all happens, I have a little more sympathy. Gosh darn, things happen really fast, especially when you're playing a good team like Washington. On the other hand, you're all millionaires, and one of you is like a millionaire, and it's the NHL, and you're in the NHL, and oh well. For me, it's a good play from Washington that they execute on more than it is a mistake by the Leafs, but these split-second things are what kill you. And they head into intermission down 1-0. No, they don't, Steve. They head into intermission down 2-1. Difficult to keep track of what happened in this game. And by the way, someone who wasn't in the lineup tonight did something really great, and it happened at first intermission. Alex Steeves made his season debut. So did Yanni Hakanpää, and we'll get to that a little later. But Nick Robertson was the man sitting out up front, which really sucks because there's someone on Twitter who I follow and I actually met at my book signing in Washington, D.C. a few years ago with RMNB named The Woo Woo. They wore a Leaf jersey to the game. Reminder, this was in Washington. They wore a Leaf jersey to the game. They wanted a picture with Nick Robertson, and they had gotten a picture with Nick during a Leaf game in Washington in March of this past season. It had the flag of the Philippines and everything. Well, imagine the Leafs come to your town once a year. There's a player you really want to see, and then that player's not even playing. That would suck, right? Well, because Nick Robertson is such a gem, he walks down from the press box and he goes and meets the kid. I know some people think that is the sort of thing that should be a prerequisite for athletes, and maybe it should be, but not all of them do it. It's not something you have to do. You know what? People might recognize me. I don't want to go down there. I don't want to get booed by opposing fans. And also, I'm in a bad mood because I'm a healthy scratch and it sucks and I'm mad. Or you could put a smile on and make a kid's day. And that's what Nick Robertson did. Love that for Robbie. Then the second period comes, and it becomes this annoying chess match. Also, if I gloss over any of the reviews, I want to talk about them at the end because I don't want to be like, and then this, and then this, and then it didn't count, and then this, and then it didn't count. This video is gonna take freaking half an hour if I do that. And also, there were 4 reviews, and off the top of my head, I don't remember when they all were. Anyway, the Capitals, to make it 3-1, here's what happened. Jake McCabe flubs the play. Now he's got to scamper back. But Chris Tanev is back. Good. We like that. And William Nylander is back. Good. We like that. Nylander has a choice. And he's like, I can do my best to get back as fast as I can and probably lose this foot race because of momentum. Or I can make an aggressive play on the puck and try to stop the odd man rush before it even begins. He does, and here it is, and honestly, like, this could have worked. You got pressure from McCabe, you got pressure from Nylander. There's no guarantee this pass actually works. Well, it did, and Washington gets a 2-on-1. Now here's what's great. Washington does not score on the 2-on-1. Here's what's even better. Reinforcements arrive. Here come 4 Leafs on 2 Capital. Who's got that guy? Who's got that guy? I think this might be the most open any player has ever been. I don't think any player in the history of the National Hockey League, it's been around for over 100 years, I don't think anyone has ever been more open than Alexei Protas. Dude, like, Tanev is back there. McCabe is back there. Nyes, what if Nyes picked him up? Domi, what if Domi picked him up? Anyone! Joseph Wool is a lot of things, but he is not a plasma shield built by an alien race. Not sure what he's supposed to do here. 3-1 Washington. Looks like they're going to go 0 for 4 in this back-to-back. Not good. Well, that's when the Leafs try stuff. Fourth line is out there, and the fourth line is unhinged. David Kampf is up on the third. Washington, listen, you lost the right to complain about the reviews. Not because you were wrong, but because you lost to a team that had David Kampf as his third-line center. Fourth line is out there. Fourth line is banging and crashing. Logan Thompson is stopping everything. He was great for like the first 56 minutes, something like that. Steven Lorentz does this. Here, can I demonstrate? Here, watch. Cardinal sin. Did you catch that? Here, let me show you again. I didn't have my protractor on me to hold up to the TV, but by my view, he raised his knee about 9 or 10 degrees. And apparently that's a kicking motion. Even though they didn't say kicking motion. They didn't call it a kick. They just said he propelled it in with his leg. We'll spend some more time on that. Let's move on. Doesn't count. Leafs still down 3-1. That sucks. You know what else sucks? You, when you're trying to leave the zone and Matthew Knies is there. Ha! He steals it. He drives the net. He puts on a bunch of moves. And if you want to know how much oxygen Matthew Knies sucks up these days, the guy the three dudes missed is William Nylander. Matthew Knies with only his 4th assist of the season, which is hilarious because this was actually a shot and I think it went off the post. With the sick play sets up Willie, who just taps it in and the Leafs are within 1. And then guess what? Matthew Knies again, because he goes to the net. The Leafs put it on. He tips it down perfectly. Pinpoint accuracy. It goes to review. Well, that was exciting for like 2 seconds. The call on the ice is no goal. And that's important because the call on the ice matters until it doesn't. Which is often, by the way. Does anyone understand the rules of hockey? No. You have to actively be a hockey fan. Dude, no other sport, no other top league in any sport makes you work as hard as the NHL does to understand the product. I can't be too mad at the call, especially because the Leafs won, but I can't be too mad at the call because it is genuinely close to being a high stick. The broadcast didn't think it was a high stick. The refs did. Doesn't count. That would have been cool because Willie scored with less than 5 minutes left, and then this would have been like a minute later. That would have been cool. Until there's less than a minute to go. The Capitals take a penalty. So the Leafs get an empty net power play 6-on-4. So if you're the Capitals penalty killers, you got to really commit. You gotta get in your little box, right? And you got to figure out what you're doing, who you're covering. I love very much that it was a power play goal to a right-handed shot on the left side that tied it. But it's not Alex Ovechkin, it's Mitch Marner, a very talented player who uses a wet noodle as a hockey stick and doesn't shoot. Except Capitals had a fatal flaw in the plan. You see, Leaf fans, we've been around the block a few times, and what you failed to realize is it's November. Not just November, but mid-November. And you forgot that by this point in the season, someone on the coaching staff goes, Mitchell, you can shoot really well, how about you do it? And then at some point, he scores a few goals, and the confidence builds, and then he scores a goal where it's like, why don't you just, I think you should shoot more than Matthews, actually. This shot is despicable! Logan Thompson flying across the net, and Mitch just, oh, dude, look at this. Look at this. The cameraman didn't even catch where Mitch put it. Far side, top corner, yuck. And we're going to okay, the Leafs are playing for overtime. It's not in overtime yet. Don't ice the puck. I don't like that you ice the puck. Can you win the face-off? You won the face-off. Okay, good. Good. We like that. Okay, Leafs get a point. Leafs shouldn't have got a point, but they got a point. How did they get a point? They got a point. Oh, it's 3-on-3 overtime. Oh, no. Oh, the Leafs aren't very good at that. Oh, they keep giving it away, and it's... That's the worst thing about 3-on-3 overtime is you lose for, like, a long time. You lose for 5 to 10 seconds. It's, like, always an odd man rush, isn't it? And it takes forever because everyone's tired. Like the slowest car chase ever. And the puck squeaks loose, and oh my goodness, the Capitals have a perfect opportunity! And Joseph Woll, with the goaltending form of abject panic, stops it! Doesn't matter, stopped it. He should get an assist. Marner just goes, yeah! Just whacks the thing out of the zone, and John Tavares takes off like a max out of Domi. This is like what happened in the Minnesota game, but good. Tavares, who's not known for his speed, but like his NHL edge stats are actually fast. It's very strange. If Logan Thompson comes out and plays this puck, honestly, the Capitals probably win the game, but he didn't if some butts were candy and nuts. The Leafs wouldn't make off like bandits. John Tavares looks back at John Carlson and says, I don't have to outrun the bear, I just have to outrun the other John. Takes the puck, nasty move, spreads the 5-hole. Logan Thompson had no chance down Logan, and Tavares tucks it home. Leafs tuck those 2 points into their pants and leave. Gutsiest win of the season. You are not always going to be the better team. Leafs were the better team in the third period, but score effects, you are not always going to be the better team. The Washington Capitals won, forget the Stanley Cup final, the Eastern Conference final with 2 shutouts from Braden Holtby in Game 6 and 7 against the Tampa Bay Lightning. Were the Capitals the better team in that series? I don't think Capitals fans put a ton of thought into that or care, because the Capitals won. And no, this is not the Eastern Conference final, but it was nice to get the 2 points because that was all that was on the line. It's no fun without Auston Matthews. They need him. And you can tell guys are playing not 100%. And the depth scoring is an absolute nightmare. And there are lots of things that are making life difficult for the Leafs right now. You have to find a way. And they did. Questions. And we're doing the questions on Blue Sky. Some of you might have already heard of Blue Sky, but it's basically Twitter, but not terrible. You can follow me on Blue Sky, Steve Dangle20, all one word, .bsky.social. A huge swath of like hockey Twitter and Leafs Twitter have joined Blue Sky, so I'm trying it out, and I'm gonna do questions on Blue Sky sometimes. Thoughts on Hakanpää in his first game as a Leaf? Right, so you see how I didn't mention Jani Hakanpää at all throughout the video? That's Jani Hakanpää. Jani Hakanpää is kind of your nerd's stay-at-home defenseman. Like, a lot of people have not heard of this player, and they're like, why are the Leafs moving heaven and earth to get this player with no knee? Well, part of the reason is because I kept seeing this really tiny player out there, and I'm like, when did the Leafs get the world's smallest defenseman? And then I realized, oh, that's Morgan Rielly, who is a normal to big size man, and he just plays with Jani Hakanpää, who is a bear! Stay at home, right shot defenseman. He was fine. I did see some criticism of him on the Capitals goalie interference goal that got called back, so I'll use this as a jumping point to talk about that. The Caps player was in the blue paint and was the reason that Jani Hakanpää was knocked down. He was not down there because he was trying to block a shot. As for should it have counted? Let's be honest, yeah. Or put it this way, I didn't know there was going to be a challenge. And then there was a challenge, and they replayed the goal, and I went, yeah, that's goalie interference. Yeah. I think the one thing we can agree on across the board is we have no idea what goalie interference is, and if that's goalie interference, fine, but it's pretty soft. Anyway, Jani Hakanpää, steady as she goes. I like them. Ooh, how much do your plans for the LFR change between 3-1 and 4-3? Really like this question because, like, I don't really take notes for LFR videos. I just make the video as the game is happening. Like, okay, if the game ended now, what would the story be? And if the game ended now, what would the story be? And it, here's how it changes just throughout. I'm not gonna lie, when it was 3-1, I didn't have a ton. The reviews are a big part of this story, like, for the game, but ultimately, I think they got them all right. Like, okay, there was the goalie interference. Yeah, I've seen softer goalie interferences than that. Fine. There was the double minor for high sticking on Matthew Knies. I think it was Nick Dowd that he cut. It wasn't high sticking at all, so he didn't get a penalty. It was a shoulder to the head, which is bad, and we don't like that, except Knies little... I know you gotta be responsible for your body, but like, that goes two ways. Knies wasn't throwing a hit. He wasn't even trying to engage body contact. It was just a person went, bruh. I think you file that under stuff happens, man. Steven Lorentz, the kick-in goal, the knee goal. Okay, well, apparently you're not allowed to do that. I didn't know that, but like, I'm not gonna argue with you because I didn't know. And the Matthew Knies high stick is pretty close. If the call on the ice was a goal, maybe it counts. That's not what the call on the ice was, so I understand why it didn't count. What really keyed it in for me was, I started to think about it when the Leafs made it 3-2, but when they got the power play with under a minute to go and it's 6-on-4, and they've had basically all the momentum for the whole period, I was just like, dude, they win this game, it's a heist. They have no business walking out of this building with 1 point, let alone 2. Of course, they do tie it, and oh man, it's actually possible. And the second Tavares scores the OT winner, I'm like, yep, get out of Washington, don't even pack a bag. I'm gonna start the LFR with that. Because to me, forget the reviews, that's the big story. You know what? If you're a Caps fan, I understand the reviews being the biggest story. I understand that. If you're a Leafs fan, you won a game where you came back from 3-1 down in overtime on the road, second half of a back-to-back with travel. That rules! And you basically negate a terrible performance from the night before. It's great, man. an awesome feeling. Is the sky always blue in Leafland? No! Johnny T is so back, right? Yeah, apparently when you don't lose like 8 or 9 pounds from an illness, you're better at hockey. That's my bad. But listen, when I was saying the Leafs need more out of John Tavares, I don't regret saying that because they did. Case in point, this game. His nasty move on the first goal gets them on the board. He's one of the guys in front on the game-tying goal. He scored the overtime winner. They don't have Matthews. When the Leafs have both of those guys and they're both healthy and feeling good, they are a very difficult team to beat. So when they only have one of them, Tavares has to be good or the whole deck of cards falls down. And it's worth mentioning, Oliver Ekman-Larsson gets the championship belt from the boys for his 1,000th career NHL game. OEL with a weird little K in the middle of the E. We've watched enough Leaf hockey this year that we know the goaltending is going to be fine. The decor's pretty good on most nights, and OEL is a big part of that. They gotta solve the depth scoring, and I think it all runs through, boy, they need a third line center bad. But we don't talk about that now. We celebrate the 2 points. It's a lovely day. It's a lovely night. The Leafs won. It's going to be a lovely day tomorrow. The Leafs won. Friday, the Leafs won. And all day Saturday, you can ride that right into Hockey Night in Canada when they take on Connor McDavid and the Edmonton Oilers, and then you're full of existential dread. I hope he gets his 1,000th point against the Predators so that we don't have to talk about that all day. Last but not least, do you want a signed copy of my book, Hockey Rants and Raves? Okay, great. But you don't live anywhere near the GTA, do you? That's a problem. Or you can't make it out to the book signings. That's a problem. Well, I've partnered up with a little bookstore called Blue Heron Books. And what's going to happen is they'll take your order. You can customize it whatever you want. And I'm going to go to their store like once a week. I'm going to fill out all the books that are ordered, and they will ship them. $20 flat rate shipping for Canada, $25 flat rate for the United States, and ask them directly if you are from like the UK or somewhere outside of the States or Canada, basically. I will put an exact step-by-step description of how you order the book in the description of this video. I've also posted it on basically all forms of social media. I have a community tab on this YouTube channel, Twitter, I'll never call it the other thing, I don't care, Blue Sky, Threads, what else? I've posted it basically everywhere. Shut up, Steve, wrap it up. That is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell all your friends. My next book signing is at Yorkdale Mall this Saturday, 2 p.m.